Hi, I'm Jeff from 1A Auto. Today I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the washer fluid pumps on this 2010 Toyota Rav4. If you need this or any other parts or the tools that you need to get the job done, check us out at 1aauto.com. Okay, so we're going to get started by taking off this panel right here. We're just going to get in, and these ones come out. You just push down the center and then you can pry it up like that. That one's already down. Like that. Push. There we go. There's that one. You can go ahead and do the same with the rest of them. And then you can go ahead, and this just lifts, slide it back and out. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and take off the bumper, and we're going to start along the top here. There's a couple of these push clips and then 2 Phillips screws. So to get these push clips off, you just get in under with a screwdriver, pull up the top, and then it pulls right out. You can go ahead and do that for these other ones. And then while we're right here, we'll get this Phillips. These screws ended up being a little rusty, and they're kind of stuck, so we're just going to get a little bit of rust penetrant in here. Give that a second to soak in. All right, now that we've given that a minute for the rust to break free, we can just go ahead. All right, we got that one out, and then we can go ahead and get this other one on the other side. And then right here, this is actually one of those pop clips too. So we just need to pry up the top of it, and then it comes out. So right here, we have another clip that attaches this liner to the bumper. All you need to do is turn it a quarter turn, and then it will just pry right out, just like that. Okay, and then after you take this clip out, this just separates away, and you can see hiding behind right here, we have another 10mm screw that secures the bumper to the fender. And you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to take a look underneath. We've got a bunch of things that we need to remove to separate the bottom of the bumper. We've got some more of these clips, and then we've got a couple screws that are either 10mm or Phillips. So we've got here, 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 which we are missing, here, and then here and here. All right, just like the other ones, we're just gonna pop out the top. These ones are down on the bottom, so of course they've filled up with all kinds of sand and road junk over the years. So these are not coming out very easily. There we go. And if you wind up breaking any of these plastic pieces, we sell an entire kit of Toyota fasteners on 1aauto.com. So now let's go ahead and we'll get off these 10mm screws. One there. There would be one there, and there, and there. We're gonna skip right to here. And this one right here. All right, now that we've got all the fasteners off, all we have to do is get a good grip and rip. Oh, look at that, I got it all in one to go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove the pumps. There's actually 2 pumps for this reservoir, one here and one behind it. Ideally, you do this while the reservoir is empty. We're gonna have to drain out all of this fluid. So I've got a bucket underneath. I'm gonna pull this pump out. It just pulls straight back, and then we'll let it drain out. If you need to, you can grab a flat blade screwdriver just to give yourself a little extra prying force. Just be careful of the gasket right here. We don't want to break that because then it might end up leaking later on. There we go. Okay, now that we've drained out our tank, we can go ahead and finish taking out the pump, we're just gonna press down on this tab right here. Disconnect the electrical connector. We've got the hose. I can just pull straight out. Okay, if you need to, you can just take a flat blade screwdriver and just kind of get in under this hose a little bit, being careful not to rip it, and just help you push the hose up over the fitting. Come out just like that. Okay, to reinstall the pump, we're just going to take the hose, slide it back on over this fitting until it's sitting all the way against the body of the pump to make sure it's on all the way. Take the electrical connector, slide it on until it clicks. Give it a little tug to make sure it's still connected. And then you'll be able to do the same thing with the other pump right here. All right, so to get this back in, we're actually going to take the gasket off first. Here's the gasket. We're going to take a look at it real quick, look for cracks or dry rot or anything like that. If it's still not nice and rubbery, then you're going to want to replace this to prevent leaking from the tank. Then we'll just go ahead and you can fit the gasket right into the opening on the reservoir. And then you can take the pump and just give it a nice firm shove right into the gasket. And you can see how there's a plastic rim on the pump. You want the gasket right up against that rim to make sure it's seated all the way. And then you'll be able to do the same thing with the other pump right here. All right, here's our bumper. We're just gonna set it in place right here to start with. I'm going to take my 2 screws to hold it in place while I work on the rest of the stuff. I'm just going to put them in loosely now. We'll come back and tighten them down at the end. All right, so now that we've got it secured up top, we can go ahead and start putting it back in place over here. We've got some tabs on the back of the bumper here that just kind of rest underneath the headlights. And then we've got these tabs, they're going to lock in right here. So make sure you get these ones right under the headlight, and then these ones will press right in. And then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take this 10mm screw that holds the bumper onto the fender. We're just going to get it started here. All right, and we're just going to tighten that till it's snug. It doesn't need to be too tight, just enough to hold on. All right, now that we've got that screw taken care of up there, we can take the rest of this panel, slide it in behind the bumper, get this piece tucked into this bracket right here. That piece fits in like that. And then we take this pin, it's got the little wings on it. They line up with the slot in this bracket here. When everything is lined up, you can push it right in. Like that. And then to secure it in place, you can take a flat blade screwdriver or something similar. And just give it a little turn, and now it's locked in. Then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now that we're down here, we've got some screws and some clips that we need to put in. We'll start with the screws. We're gonna want one going here and here. We were missing a few, but if you still have them, you're gonna want them all along here. So we'll start down on this end. Okay, we've got our screws in. Now we've just got one of these clips that goes in on this side. Push it in to lock it, and then another one on the other side. All right, so now that we've got everything on the sides and underneath finished, we can come back up here to finish up the top. We're gonna tighten down these screws, and then we've got 3 more clips to put in right here. So we have our clips that we're gonna put back. This one in the middle has a bumper on the top of it. So we're gonna start with that one. We just slide it right in, push it down to lock it, and then you can do the same thing with the other 2. Now we can go ahead and finish tightening down these screws. All right, now we can go ahead and put this trim piece back. It just sets in like that. And then we're going to secure it with a whole bunch of the clips with the center button. So we'll start down on this side. Just push it in. Push down the button. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and refill the washer fluid reservoir. Right here is our cap, washer fluid only. I'm going to open it up.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1aauto.com for quality auto parts shipped to your door, the place for DIY auto repair. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button.